It is June, and let's talk about the May releases we watched. And although I didn't see that many new releases, I did see a couple of movies that I think are really great and deserve a shout out. So I'm going to do that right here. We are talking May watches. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell on the road to 50,000 subscribers. We are going to be talking about Disclosure Day with some more spoilers tomorrow. So once you see that movie tomorrow, come back here to this channel, hit the notification bell. Don't miss out on that talk because there's a lot to discuss there. But let's talk about everything I watched in May, and you can follow me on Letterboxd if you want at Culture Elixir. That's where I post everything, and I'm going to be a little bit better over there. Usually I just use it to log, but I do want to get a little bit more writing out there as well. So stay tuned for that. But let's get into it. So May 13, as you can see, I watched Obsession. This was actually my third watch of Obsession. I watched it last year at TIFF, watched it at South by Southwest in March, and I went to go watch it once it released. This is definitely one of those movies that I think is going to be special for a long time, not just because of it being such a good movie and launching both Curry as well as Inda's performance here, like one of the best. So I think that this is definitely going to be talked about for a long time, but it's just so interesting to watch this myself, like seeing it at TIFF, knowing it was special, knowing it was going to go and do good, hearing it be bought by Focus a couple days later, ultimately hoping that it would reach a audience, and did it reach an audience? It is currently at like over 220 million plus on a $750,000 budget, which we can discuss the budget and all of that as well in another video. And should people be compensated that worked on this video a little bit more? We'll discuss it. Don't worry. I have a lot of thoughts on that. But I am definitely happy to see its success, and I'm excited to see what TIFF brings to Midnight Madness this year. Next one I watched was Is God Is, a movie that I feel deserved a lot more love, honestly. This is directed by Alicia Harris, based on a play that she also did. And I thought this was such a brilliant film that I just was hoping would reach a bigger audience when I first watched it at a screening. And I think that eventually I will find it, but I just feel like the marketing wasn't there to aid it, really. I thought it was a good film, honestly. Everybody was phenomenal here. Next film on my list is going to be The Devils. So this is where I start getting into more rewatches or first times of older films. And this was my first time watching The Devils. I've been meaning to watch it. It's been hard to find. I eventually was able to find it, sat down with it, and I was excited to watch it because I was just I think this was the week when they announced they were re-releasing like a director's cut remaster, all of that of Ken Russell's The Devils, and I was like, I need to watch the original and then go watch the new one by the time it releases. And I will say this is probably one of the most disturbing films I've seen, and not just because of imagery or anything like that, but I think about the sort of story it presents to us that feels so timely as ever. And it is definitely one of those movies that I think will stand the test of time because of what it's conveying and saying throughout its runtime, not just with the, I would say, dialogue, but also with the imagery that is just so beautifully shot. And I think that this is such an important film. I'm excited to see what they will release once they get the remaster and all that done. So we will see, but very happy I checked out The Devils this month. Next one is going to be Ring. Now, Ring is a movie that I rewatched. I hadn't seen it in years. And as I work with other projects I'm doing throughout this year, I wanted to sort of dive into this world more. A very analog, very, I would say, slow burn of a film that builds and builds and ultimately leaves you with this feeling of just dread. And I wanted to feel that feeling. And Ring does it so beautifully done. So I really, really appreciate this film a lot. This was the 1998 version, by the way. I think Gore Verbinski's version is very different, and I like both of them a lot. I've seen Gore Verbinski's film maybe more than the 1998 film. I love both, but I still have like a soft spot for Gore Verbinski's because I watched that first when I was young. So there's that. Terrified or Aterrados from Damian Rugna. This is a movie that I hadn't watched before. First time watch right here. I watched When Evil Lurks, and then I watched his segment on Satanic Hispanics. And I've been meaning to watch this one. I know they were at Fantastic Fest with this film, and it got great reception there, and I see it. This is definitely a movie that is very different, I feel, and sort of tries to take this ghost story in a different direction. And I will tell you, Parker Finn owes a lot to a jump scare in here and Smile, and I just don't know how they got away with that, but that's a whole other conversation right there. Really check this out if you can. Really great horror. Then I watched Matt Johnson's Blackberry because I was going to watch Nirvana, the band, and then I didn't watch it. As you can see, it's not on here. But Blackberry is one of those movies that I first time watched this on a plane and I was cracking up the whole time. And I wanted to rewatch it in the comfort of my home so I can just laugh hysterically. And I did. This movie is just incredibly acted. The way it's shot, everything, the script is impeccable. And I think that this is probably one of the best biopics of all time, even if it's just for the Blackberry. Really great stuff here that Matt Johnson does, and I will watch Nirvana this month. I'm gonna watch it. That's my goal. But last film I watched was actually Kane Parsons' Backrooms. I've been anticipating this a ton. I was curious to see what Kane Parsons would do. Backrooms is such an open world, I feel, and there's so much like you can do, say, directions you can take. And at the end of the day, I wasn't as hot on Backrooms as a lot of people were. I did enjoy it. I really love the acting in this. I think that Chuito as well as Renate are on another level, and they really hold the film together. I just wasn't all the way there with the way that Kane Parsons delivered the story, but that's just my opinion. I know a lot of people enjoyed it, and I'll be seated for Backrooms too if it comes out. But those were the May watches. Those were just some of the films I was able to. Well, those were all the films I caught, which is a very small list. Only 2 new releases. Well, 3 new releases, and the rest were rewatches. But I'm trying to be a little bit more intentional, trying to cut back on how many movies I watch. Over the last 4 or 5 years, I would watch a lot, and I felt like I was just too overloaded. And as I start to work on other projects, not just what I do here on YouTube or TikTok, I've been like, you know what? I got to cut back on what I watch. I got to be more intentional this year. And that's what I've been doing and working on my other projects, which I will talk about soon. But let me know what you watched in May. What was your favorite watch of May? Comment it down below. If anybody's looking for recommendations as well, you can follow me on Letterboxd, where I'll be posting a ton more of my reviews and stuff like that for everything I'm watching. June's come around and I've watched 3 films and we're on the 10th. So that should tell you I try to watch at least a movie every 2 days now instead of every day. And new releases as well. I'm keeping an eye on them, trying to keep it steady. There's a lot of movies that I still haven't watched, like Masters of the Universe. I haven't watched Project Hail Mary. Like, I'm behind on a lot of things, and hopefully I get around to them at some point. But let me know your favorite watch of May in the comments down below, and what are you currently watching? Are you watching Disclosure Day? Because I recommend you watch Disclosure Day this weekend. But stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, follow us wherever you can, whether it's TikTok, Culture Elixir, or also on Instagram, Culture Elixir Bits, or even our letterbox over here, Culture Elixir. As always, I'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.